Xi Jinping's family experienced the consequences of the Cultural Revolution firsthand. And as a young man, he saw the collapse of the Soviet Union, a country that once considered itself the elder brother in socialism to China, long before the Sino-Soviet split. These two factors influence his thinking to this day. Educated both in Chinese classics and in Marxist theory, he clearly understands the power of ideology, and because of this considers the struggle with the United States to continue to be primarily an ideological struggle, not in the sense of exporting your ideology to be believed by the rest of the world, but in the sense that for an organization to function well, its members must believe in the mission and methods of that organization. He sees the failure of the Soviet Union not as a failure of Soviet economic policy, but as a failure of the Soviet Communist Party. He doesn't want the Chinese Communist Party to fail in the same way. Because of this, he has emphasized Marxist doctrine. Marxism exists in an interesting tension with Maoism. According to the framework that we've used previously to analyze ideologies, the main distinction is one of tactics. In Marxism, the primary objective is economic growth. In a Communist Party-controlled society, any economic growth contributes to the building of socialism, socialism being the ultimate utopian state predicted by Marxist theory. In the Maoist perspective, it is the direct class struggle of the workers and, yes, the farmers, often targeting key intellectuals or even some of the highly skilled workers who have started to become compromised by the class interests of the petit bourgeois and the haute bourgeois, the high bourgeoisie. This approach has proven successful. Deng's reforms in the 70s and 80s didn't worry too much what color the cat was, as long as the cat caught mice. We didn't worry whether a policy was Marxist or not, as long as it produced economic growth, it would ultimately lead to these outcomes. Xi's policy is a continuation. The key problem it faces is that the new sources of growth, such as artificial intelligence, are very questionable. The heavy investment of the Chinese state of its top intellectual talents into artificial intelligence might have poor returns, as might Western efforts of the same type. The key issues Xi is trying to avoid are a fragmentation of China along Soviet lines, hence a desire to keep breakaway provinces or would-be breakaway provinces in line. Secondly, maintaining a strong belief in Marxist theory within the party itself, a party that frequently has been accused of being self-serving domestically or oppressive abroad. China has the largest population of skilled blue-collar workers in the world. These are workers who are used to working with different kinds of machinery and new industrial advances every few years, not following the same process decade after decade the way American and Western European workers are. This advantage can be, however, humbled by a failure of international trade. Hence, China is doing its best to become an invaluable political, not just economic partner, to its partners in Africa, Central Asia, the Pacific Ocean, and more various European countries. If China remains politically indispensable for these countries will pursue a trade policy favorable to China and would not participate in a hypothetical US-led blockade. This means the advantage of a large industrial base and the highly skilled labor cannot be crippled by denial of resources. Long term, China is poised to be the global hegemon, with the United States being a stable but second-rate power. The core problem with China is that while it is posed to become the next global hegemon, while its institutions are healthier than current American institutions, it has not really satisfactorily answered the succession problem. If Chinese youth is more Maoist, they might in revolutionary fervor disassemble the very institutions that have driven China's growth. Where exactly in the state of mass surveillance and tight party control will the next generation of skilled politicians come from? And finally, if you eliminate your most potent political rivals, pushing them out of power, there is no natural successor even within your generation. Much as Russia, China is beset by the succession problem, and how Xi tackles it will determine the fate of the state in the 21st century. My name is Samo Burja. I'm the founder of Bismarck Analysis. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe.